To our registration webinar for the MS in Supply Chain Management program and the MS in Management Science program. My name is John Fierst, and I am the program director for both of these programs. They're both housed in the operations management area of JSOM. And this is one of my favorite webinars to do because I know for a lot of you, I had been, emailing with you over the past few months, answering questions. Maybe I saw you on an information session call. And now we're actually starting to put things into motion and get folks registered for their first semester of classes. And then typically the next time that I see people is at orientation in January. So it's a really exciting time for everybody. So I just wanted to start off by introducing myself and letting you all know kind of the program that you're coming into. We have a lot of folks that join the supply chain and management science programs. We have everybody from people who are fresh out of their bachelor's degree and maybe just have an internship or two under their belt. And we have seasoned professionals who've been working for a really long time that are joining our programs. We have people from all sorts of different majors, everything from English and psychology to every variety of engineering that you can imagine. So that's one of the cool things about being a JSOM student is just the diversity of students that we have in our programs. And all of you on the call today, you're probably going to meet each other at some point in class, whether you're taking classes here on campus or taking classes online. So it's a really exciting time, I think, to be here in JSOM. For just to give you a little bit of background on me as well, I'm a staff member here in JSOM, so I'm not actually faculty. I do not teach or do research except for serve as the instructor of the internship courses, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I'm originally from Indiana, so if you know where Chicago is in the Great Lakes region of the country, that's kind of the area of the U.S. that I grew up in. But I've been in Texas now for about 8 years. And I'm always happy to help with any kind of program-related questions, internship-related questions, academic success issues. Really, I'm kind of the point person for you. If you're not sure who to ask about something, please feel free to come to me first, and I'll either answer your question or point you in the right direction of where you need to go to get your question or issue resolved. So please feel free to reach out anytime. You're also totally welcome to call me John. You don't need to call me like Professor Fierst or Mr. Fierst or anything like that. Totally fine to just start your emails with "Hi, John," and that is all fine with me. One thing that I do want to do before we dive in a little bit further, I made this summer a LinkedIn page for each of the programs, and I think this is a really great way to stay connected to the programs and see what's happening here on campus before you even get here. So if you're a supply chain student, please click the link that I just dropped here in the chat to go follow the supply chain management page. And if you are a management science student, I'm going to drop your link here in the chat. Go give your page a follow. I've been highlighting where our students have done internships, done some current student highlights, some fun facts about the program, sharing our students good news. We've had some students earn some certifications and get selected to attend conferences and all sorts of cool things. So it's a really great way to see what's happening in the program and get to know some folks before you actually get here in January. So please feel free to give our page a follow there. All right, so let's dive in here first on kind of the difference between advising and your program director. So as a program director, I'm actually not your academic advisor. So if I say, hey, you actually need to talk to the JSOM graduate advising team about that, I'm referring to our academic advising team here in JSOM, which is not me. So our JSOM graduate advising team can help with anything related to understanding your graduation requirements, helping you figure out how to resolve a hold on your account, course registration and wait lists in Galaxy, understanding your GPA, applying for graduation, all of those things that kind of keep you going in terms of progressing through the degree program from a technical point of view. For me, as your program director, I can help you understand the concentrations and tracks within your degree plan, how to go through the internship reporting process. Maybe you're not sure which elective courses to take and how that aligns with your career goals. That's me. Developing skills for your future career. And again, anytime that you have a question where you're really not sure who the person is you should start with, please feel free to come to me first, and I'm happy to help you. So that's just kind of the difference between the academic advising team and me. Now, it's very important for you as an incoming student to be sure that you're reading all the emails that come to your UTD email. Because once you've enrolled in your classes, all of that communication from me and from UTD is going to come to your UTD email. So please make sure that you're able to log into that and that you start checking it. We use Microsoft here at UTD, so you can easily download the Outlook app and put your UTD email on your phone and really be able to access it wherever you are. So please be sure that you're reading all of your UTD email. Okay, next up, I want to talk about Coursebook because Coursebook went live yesterday with all of the spring 2024 courses. So you can access Coursebook at coursebook.utdallas.edu, and there are 3 methods of instruction that you can choose from for your schedule this spring. One is the traditional modality. That is an in-person class in a classroom with a day and time each week. The second one is online asynchronous, and this is what most people think of when it comes to online classes. These are classes where there's no meeting room, no class time. You work on the class week to week at your own pace, and everything is just done through e-learning, and you don't have to log in at any particular point in time for that class. Then there are a few sections of what we're calling online synchronous courses, which are classes where there is a meeting day and time, but no classroom, because you can be wherever you want in the country and log into that class from wherever you are, but it's a live online class each week. So you're actually watching the professor do the class live from wherever you may be. So I took a screenshot of Coursebook here, and you'll see this on the slide. This is 6301, which is a class that most of you are probably going to enroll in this spring. And you'll see that the first one there is 6301.OW1. That is, and it says no meeting room. That is an online asynchronous course, right? No meeting room, no day and time. You just work on it as you please. 6301.501, this has a number. That one is an in-person class, right? We see a day, a time, and a classroom location. The last one is an online synchronous course. That one we see the little W in the section number. That means web, so online. But we see a day and time, right? No meeting room because you're not coming to campus, but there is a day and time that you actually log in to do the class. So those are your 3 different modalities of courses, and you're going to see all 3 of those in a number of different classes that you're signing up for. So please make sure that you understand the modality of the class that you're signing up for so that you know whether it's an online or an in-person. Also remember here that you can go into Coursebook and see syllabus for syllabi or instructor CVs from previous semesters. So for spring 2024, instructors do not have to upload their syllabus until I think it's like the first day of class. So you won't actually see the class syllabus for your spring classes anytime soon. They'll probably be populated in January. But you can go to Coursebook and search for the fall 2023 term, which we're in right now, or the spring 2023 term, which was just in the past, and you will be able to take a look at course syllabi and instructor CVs from past semesters. So if you're thinking, well, I don't know what OPRE 6301 entails, I want more detail on that, just go back a semester and look at the syllabus from the previous semester. That'll give you a pretty good idea of what's going to happen for you in spring 2024. Okay, so actual registering of classes. I know that for some people, they have not actually registered themselves before, right? Maybe in your undergraduate degree, you had somebody at your school do that for you, and you were just put into a schedule of classes, and you get what you get, and that's it. That's especially common outside the U.S., right, where somebody's following a degree plan and they just take the classes that are given to them, and they've never had to actually register and add drop on their own. So this might be kind of a new concept for a lot of folks. So this part is important. The first thing to know is that you may have a hold or 2 on your account. And holds come from a variety of places on campus. The most common ones are from the Student Health Center, and that's a TB test hold for any international student. You need to have a negative TB test before you can attend class. So they'll put a hold on your account to basically stop registration until that happens. Now, the Student Health Center for incoming new students should have pushed that hold out to January so that you can go ahead and add your classes now and not be barred from doing that. However, you will need to get your TB test done when you arrive here in Dallas. And then once that TB test is negative, they'll clear the hold off of your account and it'll be actually removed. Another hold that's very common is from the admissions office. Now, I bet all of you, when you applied, submitted unofficial documents, right? An unofficial GRE score, an unofficial transcript, unofficial degree certificates. Now that you've been admitted, UTD is saying, hey, we need your official degree transcripts, we need your official degree certificates, and official GRE or GMAT scores. So the admissions office puts a hold on your account, preventing you from registering until they get those things. Again, just like the Student Health Center, typically that hold is pushed out to allow you to go ahead and add your classes now. But once we get to January, that hold will come back into effect and you won't be able to add your second semester classes until those things are resolved. So that's one that you can actually go ahead and get resolved now by sending in your official transcripts, official test scores, and official degree certificates now. That way it's not going to impact you when we get into the spring and you're trying to add your fall 2024 courses when you actually get here. So there are some holds that get placed on your account. When in doubt about a hold, click on the hold and it should tell you which office placed that hold on your account and which email address you should contact if you have questions about clearing that hold. And if you're not exactly sure what's going on with a hold, you can always ask the advising team and they can at least direct you to the office that placed that hold on your account to see about getting it resolved. So that's about holds. Hopefully everything should be pushed out for incoming new students though, so that you are able to go ahead and add your courses without any issue. The other part of this, though, is that you also need to have accepted your offer of admission in order to enroll in classes. That's not a hold on your account. That's more of just a step you got to do before you can actually get into the registration system. So please make sure that you accept your offer of admission if you haven't done that. Now, the second thing is to find your enrollment appointment. And an enrollment appointment is not actually a meeting or something you have to attend. It's actually just a day and time that you may begin enrolling yourself in classes. The soonest that an enrollment appointment is going to be is probably something like November 6th. For most incoming new students, you have kind of the last slot for registration. So it'll probably be actually sometime after November 6th, but it'll probably be sometime in early November, and it'll say a day and a time, right? Thursday, November 8th at 3:30 p.m., right? On that day and time, that's the soonest that you're able to actually go ahead and enroll in your classes. Anytime from that day and time after. You find that in your Orion Student Center, Manage My Classes tile, and then select Spring of 24, and then it'll tell you your enrollment appointment, and then you can actually enroll yourself on that day and time and later. Online registration is technically available until the week before classes begin. I've had some students for some reason wait to enroll in classes until like January, and by that point a lot of sections have filled up. So please don't wait until January to enroll in your classes. Go ahead and just do it now. You can always switch things up. Add drop happens all the way through the first week of class. So if you get here in January and you're like, actually, I want to change something, you can totally do that. You can always make adjustments all the way through that first week of class. So don't feel like, oh, if I enroll now, I'm locked in. You're not locked in. You can totally change things around between now and the end of the first week of class in January. Your registration limit is 13 credit hours. So you can't add more than 13 credit hours in your first semester. If you are interested, and this is important, if you are interested in applying for a continuing student scholarship for fall 2024, in order to be eligible for that continuing student scholarship through JSON, you need to have taken at least 12 credit hours in your spring 2024 semester to make yourself eligible to apply for fall 2024 continuing student scholarships. So please be aware of that. I'm not saying that everybody needs to enroll in 12 credit hours to do that. That may not be the right move for you. But I'm saying if that's something that you want to be aware of is that you need that 12 hours completed in order to be eligible for the scholarship. Now, putting classes into your shopping cart is not the same as actually registering for classes. So once your enrollment appointment has come available, then you want to make sure that you place the classes in your shopping cart and then click Finish Enrolling. That will actually enroll you into the class. Sometimes people think, oh, if I just drop the classes in the shopping cart, I'm done. You're not actually done. You got to click Finish Enrolling, and you want to look for that green check mark in your schedule table. Once you have that green check mark, then you're enrolled. You can also use the swap feature we talked about adding and dropping earlier. If you want to just change sections of a course or change out of one class into another class, the swap feature in there will say, please take me out of this class and please add me into this class. That way you just do it all in one step. So the swap feature, that's what that does. And finally, just verify that your schedule is correct and make sure that you are in fact enrolled into the classes that you intended to enroll in. Quick note here on the wait list. If there is a wait list available, there will be a little yellow triangle that you see here on the screen next to that section. What that means is that the class is currently full. So maybe there's 60 seats available and 60 people have enrolled in that class. So there's no open seats. But the wait list is there so that if somebody drops, somebody off the wait list will come in and fill that spot. So you can add yourself to the wait list for a class if you would like. Typically for students who are enrolling early in the process, they're not going to need to worry about waitlisting. There's typically always space available in the classes that they need. But this could be for people watching the recording later on in 2023 or coming in, at the last minute in January, you might want to waitlist a course if something's full. And so you can do that by looking for the sections that have that yellow triangle. I'm not going to read all of this verbatim. This information is just taken off of the JSOM advising website if you're wanting to know exactly how the waitlist works. But it will email you when you get off of the waitlist, and you can't waitlist yourself for a section of a class that you're already registered in from another section, right? So if you have statistics 6301, I'm in 6301 section 501, I can't also waitlist for section 502. It's not going to let you do that. So there are some kind of rules around waitlisting that you'll see here, and it's on the JSOM advising website if you're interested. But typically, most students aren't really dealing with wait lists because this just hasn't really been something that a lot of students have needed to contend with. Also, as a first semester student, there is a chance that you won't get your first choice like elective courses, and that is okay. You can always take a course in a future semester. I've never had a situation where a student was unable to fill their schedule or unable to get a schedule created for themselves in the first semester. There will always be a way to get you into a full-time schedule if you're a full-time student or a part-time schedule if you're a part-time student. There will be a way to make it work. So please don't worry if you aren't able to get into your exact top choice section of a course or exact top choice elective this semester. There will be plenty of time to take that class in the future. Okay, before we dive into the actual courses that you're going to take in your first semester, I want to mention our Graduate Student Resource Hub. This is a box folder that I've put together that has basically all of the resources that I need all of my students to have available to them kind of 24/7. So if you want to pull out your phone and scan the QR code here, that will take you to the OM Graduate Student Resource Hub. It is behind a UTD login, so you need to make sure that you're logging into Box with your UTD credentials. If you are not able to use the QR code here, I'm going to drop the link in the chat. And it's a Box link, and it'll take you to Box. I'll put this link in my follow-up email to everyone as well. So if you're not able to access it right now, please don't worry. I'll make sure that you have this link in an email. But this Box folder contains a lot of really helpful resources, some of which pertain to academic planning. And so you'll see on the screenshot on the slide here that we have MS Management Science capstone options. So we're going to talk about that in a little bit. If you need a capstone class to graduate, what are the classes you can do for that? A degree planning sheet to basically help you map out when you're going to take certain classes when, and have a checklist of the things that you need to complete your degree. There's elective choice guides, particularly for management science students. You can take electives from anywhere in JSOM. So what should I do if I'm interested in, X thing? What classes should I consider when there's, hundreds of options available? So this resource hub has these really great academic planning resources in it, and it's available to you 24/7. All you need is a UTD login to go to Box, and it'll be here. So after we get off the call today, and after you get my follow-up email, please be sure to log into Box and take a look at these things, because you'll find a lot of really helpful information, not just from an academic planning point of view, but I also have things relating to internships and TA-ships and academic success resources and all sorts of stuff in the Box folder. All right. Let's talk through now some degree planning and some scheduling. So both the supply chain management and management science programs are 36 credit hours. That's 12 courses. So each course is 3 credit hours, 12 times 3, 36. You need a 3.0 core GPA to graduate and a 3.0 cumulative total GPA to graduate. So those core classes that are required for your degree, that needs to be a 3.0. And then the entirety of your academic career at UTD also needs to be a 3.0. If you are going to be a full-time student and international students on an F1 visa, you do need to be enrolled full-time. You need to be in at least 9 credit hours in order to meet full-time enrollment requirements. 9 credit hours is 3 courses. And if you follow a 9 semester credit hours each semester cadence, then you'll probably finish in 2 years. 9 times 4 is 36, and fall, spring, or in your case, spring, fall, that would get you through in 2 years. Some students elect to finish in 1.5 years. And if that is the case for you, then you'll probably want to consider enrolling in 12 credit hours. 12 times 3 is 36, and that's 1.5 years. International students, this is particularly important for the spring intake. Don't finish too quickly if you want to give yourself a chance at getting a summer 2025 internship. International students, you will become eligible to do an internship in spring of 2025. That's the soonest that you would be able to get and do an internship. But a lot of internships are available in the summer. And so sometimes what happens is a student will accidentally finish 36 credit hours at the end of 3 semesters. So spring 24, fall 24, spring 25, we've hit 36 credit hours and they have to graduate, right? Because F1 enrollment requirements state that a student must graduate as soon as they're eligible. So if you want the option, you want the chance to be able to do a summer 2025 internship that's when the most internships really come available, please make sure that you aren't hitting 36 credit hours too soon, so that you can stick around and be able to do that summer internship in 2025. Now, if you're going to be a part-time student, 3 credit hours per semester, including summers, you can probably finish in roughly 4 years. If you take 2 classes at a time, maybe 3 years to finish. For students working on the degree part-time, often their enrollment maybe fluctuates a little bit semester to semester, so you can totally pace it out and work on it at a pace that makes sense for you. Again, that's where the degree planning sheet that I have in Box can help you with that. Looking at 12 classes, how do I want to space these out? When do I want to take certain things? So you have the flexibility to do that if you're coming in as a part-time student. Now, this last thing here, please double check your admissions letter, the letter that you got saying, congratulations, you're admitted. See if you were placed into OPRE 6303, which is the Quantitative Foundations of Business course. This is a prerequisite course that some students are placed into if they did not take calculus during their undergraduate degree or did not have a sufficient math and statistics background from their undergraduate degree. UTD will say, hey, we want to make sure that your math and quantitative skills are up to snuff for this degree. So please take OPRE 6303 in your first semester. That's a prerequisite course. It does not count towards the 36 hours that you need to graduate, but it's going to give you those quantitative skills that you need to be successful in the program. If that is the case for you, then you'll need to email JSOM GR Advising, that's our graduate advising team, and advising will add you to 6303. You cannot actually add yourself to that class on your own. Advising needs to do that for you. Once advising has added you to 6303, then you're good to go. You can add the rest of your classes and do whatever you want with your schedule after they've added you to 6303. Most students take 6303 alongside their statistics course in their first semester. It's kind of a partner course with their statistics course. So you can do that in your first semester. Okay, management science students, I am going to start with you. So this is what we're looking at for your first semester schedule. First thing everybody should know is that you need to take Mass 6102. That is your 1 credit hour professional development course that's required in your first semester, unless you have had this waived. And Mass 6102 is managed by our Career Management Center, and it's taught by former recruiters who have actually gone to college campuses and recruited people to roles. And they do a really great job with this class. It's really there to help you be successful in your internship search and in your full-time job hunt. And all of our new MS students will take this 1 credit hour professional development class in their first semester. So you know right out the gate that that's something that you need to add. You could apply for a waiver if you have a certain number of years of work experience in the United States, or you did your undergraduate degree here at UTD. There's certain conditions that can waive somebody from needing to take Mass 6102. If that sounds like you, let me know and I'll give you more information about that. But otherwise, especially for all incoming international students, you should enroll in Mass 6102. Then everyone should take a statistics class in their first semester, and there's 2 options here, 6301 and 6359. This is important for management science students in particular. If you are planning to have a very business analytics focus to your degree, you should probably be taking advanced statistics, which is 6359. There are a number of business analytics electives that would be of interest to you that require 6359 as the prerequisite. So you need to have 6359 in order to be able to unlock those business analytics electives that you want to do in fall 2024 and beyond. If you are not planning to focus on business analytics for your degree, then you probably don't need to take 6359 and you're probably okay with 6301. But it's important to begin looking at some of those elective courses that you might be interested in doing to see if they require 6359. Because if it does, then you want to make sure that you're taking the right statistics class in your first semester. In addition to your stats class, you might consider one other core class, and there are 4 core classes in management science. The one that I encourage folks to consider is spreadsheet modeling and analytics. That's OPRE 6332, but it does not have to be this one. You could choose database foundations instead, or the business analytics with R or SAS course. Important thing here, business analytics with SAS is only offered in the spring. So if you don't do that class this spring, you'll need to wait until spring of 2025 to take that class. Now, I'm going to pull up the catalog, and you'll see there on the slide, your official requirements. It's right here, catalog.utdallas.edu/2023. This is the page that you really, really want to bookmark because it has the official requirements for your degree. So let's take a look at what that looks like. Maybe you've navigated to this already. If you have, hopefully this looks familiar. Oops. Here we go. So this is the catalog page that has your official degree requirements. So we're going to scroll down here. This has the information on the prerequisites that we just talked about. Mass 6102 is your professional development class, quantitative foundations if you need it, core requirements. So like I said, there are 4 core classes for management science. You have a business analytics course, database foundations, statistics, spreadsheet modeling. Those are your 4. So I'm saying we definitely need to do our stats class in the first semester, and then consider one of these other 3 core classes for your schedule. Then, management science students, you can take electives from anywhere in JSOM. Any department, anything that you want to do, you can feel free to do it. So on the slide here, I have some electives on the box that you see on the right side of the slide that you might consider for your first semester, depending upon what your area of interest is in. So if you're thinking about business analytics, you might consider these classes. If you're thinking about IT management, consider these, marketing, supply chain, etc. In the OM Graduate Student Resource Hub, I do have an elective choice guide. So again, in follow-up today, I will send you the link to this box folder, and you'll see this Management Science elective choice guide right here. And this kind of gives you some ideas depending upon what your area of interest is, right? So business analytics, project management, healthcare, et cetera, et cetera. So you can use this to also get some inspiration and some ideas on what you might want to take. Of course, after we get off this call today, if you're like, I still don't know, please send me an email. Happy to chat with you, figure out what the right move is going to be for you in terms of your electives. But generally speaking, with management science, I encourage you to take 2 core classes in your first semester, statistics and something else. And then for full-time students, fill the rest of your schedule with electives in the area that you're thinking about focusing in. One other thing here before I move on to supply chain. You have 2 options for business analytics if you're a management science student. 6324 is business analytics with SAS. This class is the one that you do if you take 6301 for your statistics class. If you take advanced statistics, then you can do business analytics with R. So R requires advanced stats. See that prerequisite 6359? SAS only requires 6301. So in some ways with management science, we have a sort of fork in the road, right? We have some students who take 6301 and then do business analytics with SAS. That's kind of one direction. The other direction is people who take advanced statistics and then do business analytics with R. That's kind of direction number 2. So you kind of need to decide which camp you're going to be in. Am I going to do regular stats and then do business analytics with SAS, or advanced stats and then do business analytics with R? Okay. Let's see here. Next up then, supply chain students. This is your first semester schedule. Again, Math 6102, that's for everybody. Statistics, again, everybody. And you have your choice, 6301 or 6359. Now, most students in supply chain actually end up taking 6301. There are no classes in the supply chain degree that require 6359. Unless you choose to take an elective that requires 6359. And there's really not many unless you're going again down the business analytics route and wanting to get a lot of deep knowledge in business analytics, then yes, you should take 6359. Or if you just want to learn R, because 6359 advanced stats, that's a stats class that's taught with R. 6301 is a stats class that's taught with Excel. That's also a difference there. So it makes sense then that business analytics with R, that class requires advanced statistics because you're using R in both of them, whereas 6301 uses Excel, and that's fine for going into business analytics with SAS. And so what you're going to see here is that you should take a look at your elective options to see, is there something that I want to do that requires advanced statistics? Because if there is, then you should probably be taking advanced statistics in your first semester. But 95% of supply chain students will take 6301, and that works for them. They're able to take the electives they want to take with 6301. But you see here on the slide, see this OPRE 6305? That is the business analytics with R class that we just talked about with management science. It's cross-listed, which means that it's the same class, but it has 2 numbers. It can be taken as BUAN, B-U-A-N 6359, or as OPRE 6305. It's the same class. It's just given two numbers. If you want to do business analytics with R, then yes, you should take 6359 in your first semester. But for a lot of our supply chain management students, even if you want to focus on analytics, they often take different analytics courses than this OPRE 6305. They'll take operations analytics instead, spreadsheet modeling, business analytics with SAS, database foundations, some of these other classes, and those don't require 6359. So you can still take plenty of analytics classes without 6359, and that's totally fine. But if you want to learn R, consider 6359. The other class that all first semester supply chain management students should take is 6302, operations management. And that's just across the board. Now, in addition to those classes, if you are a full-time student, you'll need to add 1, maybe 2 more classes to your schedule. you can consider another core class from the degree, which would be 6371, that's purchasing, sourcing, contract management, or accounting. Or you can choose an OPRE elective. And I have elective options for first semester students here on the right side of the slide. All of these classes can be done in your first semester because they do not have prerequisites on them, or they have a co-requisite of statistics, and you're going to be taking statistics in your first semester. So you can take them together, and that's fine. So you can do anything that you see here on the screen. Let me pull over now supply chain, your catalog. So again, we're navigating to catalog.utdallas.edu. This has your official degree requirements in the catalog. So same thing, just like management science, degree requirements, prerequisites, those are the same. Here's your core course requirements. And your core classes, there are 6 of them. So statistics, number 1, operations management, number 2. So these are definitely going into your first semester. 6366 and 6370, those are your 2 global classes. These you can take in your second semester or later. They have prerequisites of 6302 on them. So you need to finish operations management first in your first semester, then you can take 6366 and 6370 later. 6371 has no prerequisites. You can take that in your first semester. Totally fine if you want to do that. And then your accounting or finance options. 99% of our supply chain students take accounting 6305 because there are no prerequisites on this class. You can go right in. Finance, on the other hand, has 2 prerequisite/co-requisites. You need to have an accounting class done or in progress in the same semester as finance, and your statistics class done or in progress in the same semester as Fin 6301 in order to take financial management. So because of those prerequisite, co-requisite requirements on finance, most of our students elect not to choose that option and elect to just take the accounting 6305 option that they can just go right into. So for your first semester, 6301 or 6359, 6302. If you want to do a core class or 2 in addition to that, you can consider purchasing, sourcing, or accounting, or take an elective that you saw on the screen. And then we're saving the 2 global classes for later because they can't be done in your first semester. Quick note here on your core classes. Accounting 6305 is only offered in person in fall and spring. It is offered online in the summer, so you could elect to do this online in the summer of 2024 if you wanted to do that. The rest of our OPRE classes, we have plenty of flexibility in terms of when they're offered and in what modality. Okay, I think that's got it as far as first semester schedules go. And again, please reach out as you're building your schedule if you are not sure what you want to do or you have questions about what makes sense for you. Definitely happy to answer questions and kind of talk that over with you if you're not quite sure. Now, I want to go through a few more things before we wrap up. Internships. Both programs require an internship of all students. And you're only eligible to complete this internship requirement at a certain point in your degree. So for international students, you have to have completed 18 credit hours and 2 long semesters in the program in order to be able to do an internship, in order to become eligible for curricular practical training, or CPT, which would allow you to do an internship. This means the soonest that you can do an internship will be spring 2025, so January 2025, basically. But you need to have completed 18 credit hours in good academic standing, which is a 3.0 or above, and those 2 long semesters in order to be able to do that. For domestic students, your work authorization obviously is not tied to being a student, so you can work whenever you want, do whatever you want, but to actually earn that credit towards your degree and complete the internship requirement for your degree, you can only actually enroll in that internship class after you've completed 18 credits in the degree. 18 credit hours is the halfway point, right? 36 divided by 2 is 18. So really the idea here is that you've made it halfway through your degree program. Now you're able to really apply those concepts that you've learned as a master's student to your internship, to your work experience, and have a high quality internship experience. So that's kind of international versus domestic on how to complete that internship requirement. There are multiple ways to complete that internship requirement from a course point of view. There is a 0 credit hour internship course, which for supply chain students is OPRE 6009, and for management science students is MAS 6009. Or you can do the internship for credit towards your degree, which for supply chain students is OPRE 6B98, management science is 6B98. For international students, typically you'll do the 0 credit hour internship first, and then split up your remaining internship credits over any other semesters that you want to intern. And that's how you're able to intern multiple semesters in a row. For domestic students, typically you'll either do the 0 credit option just one time and you're done, or you'll do the 6V98 option for 3 credit hours all at once and earn 3 credit hours towards the 36 that you need to graduate. So you're allowed a maximum of 3 internship credits to count towards your degree over the entire program. You can't just like keep repeating the internship over and over again and have 12 credit hours come from internship. It's a maximum of 3. If you're a working professional and you're working on your degree part-time, please send me an email and we can kind of discuss how to use your full-time job to complete this requirement, because we do have a lot of working professionals in the program who aren't looking for a traditional summer internship and don't want to leave their full-time job. So obviously we don't expect you to do that. So please send me an email and I'll kind of give you some more information on how to use your full-time job to complete that requirement. So we can totally work that out. And now again, if you need 18 credit hours, this is mostly geared towards international students here. You need those 18 credit hours complete in good academic standing to do an internship. So if you fail a class and perhaps repeat it, you might think, oh, I've taken 6 classes, 6 times 3 is 18. But if you failed a class and repeated it, you're not earning credit for the same class twice. A failed class does not earn credit. So if you're ever in danger of being below a 3.0, failing a class and not earning credit for it, please come talk to me so that we can talk about options. Because I don't want somebody to think that they're internship eligible when perhaps something has gone awry and now they're not able to actually do an internship. So if that's going to happen, come talk to me and we'll talk that through. I also host resume reviews for students. I told all of my new students this fall, please come in and talk to me one-on-one. We can meet over Teams. You can come into my office and we'll talk about your resume and your internship search. So I'm happy to do that for everybody one-on-one. So I'm available for you to help you with that. Our Career Management Center is amazing. They have a lot of resources and they're also very, very helpful for our students. And our Career Management Center is just for JSOM. So you get your own career management team that you can avail yourself to, and they are happy to help you. Also, I told you earlier to follow our LinkedIn pages. I've been highlighting where our students have gone to do internships, but you can also just search for the hashtag on LinkedIn, which is hashtag UTDMSSCM, and that is for supply chain students, and UTDMSMSC, that is for management science students. If you search those hashtags in LinkedIn, you'll see all of the posts that our students have made who have done internships in the past. So I'm just highlighting a few on the LinkedIn page, but all of our students who enroll into that internship course are actually required to do a LinkedIn post as part of that internship class. And so they have to use that hashtag. So you can see literally hundreds of posts on LinkedIn by using that hashtag and seeing all the cool places that our students have gone to work. Okay, international students, I did want to also give you some information here as well. If you have questions about your I-20, your F1 visa, that sort of thing, you should reach out to our International Students and Scholars Office, or ISSO. You can contact them at issocurrent@utdallas.edu or send them a message in iComment. On the ISSO website, there's a little link on the upper right that says advising, and that will give you all of your options to get in touch with them and ask any questions that you may have about your I-20 or about your F1 visa. My knowledge on the visa process and the I-20 is about here. ISSO's knowledge is up here. So I don't want to give you incorrect information, and I don't want to do something that could jeopardize anything that relates to your visa. So please, direct those questions to ISSO so that they can give you the best advice there. I'm sure, as you know by now, if you're an international student, the visa process is tightly regulated. There are a lot of T's to cross and I's to dot, and I don't want that to fall off the rails for you. So anything that relates to the I-20 or the visa, please be sure to contact ISSO because that is their realm and they know best when it comes to that sort of thing. If you are unable to get to Dallas by the first day of class, you might consider deferring your admission either to summer of 2024 or fall 2024. Because it's really ideal to be here for orientation and get here, before the first day of class. So if it's going to really be significantly later after the first day of class that you're able to make it here, please consider deferring to the next semester. You must report your local address to UTD as soon as possible in the Orion information system. Again, you'll get an email to your UTD email that should remind you to do that, but I wanted to make that, I wanted to tell folks now because that's sometimes a snag that people get hung up on. We talked about the TB test hold earlier. That should be pushed out, but once you get here, you do need to do your TB test. Official transcripts and official degree certificates, please be sure that those get sent to UTD as soon as possible. Send them electronically if you can, but if you're unable to send them electronically, then you can bring them in sealed and signed envelopes that come directly from the institution. But a fair warning on that, if the envelope gets torn on the plane here, it's unlikely that UTD's admissions office will accept that official document from you. So it's risky to bring a piece of paper, an envelope with you, on a flight over here. So it's really much better to try to send those electronically if at all possible. And then finally, you'll receive some communication from the JSOM Dean's office later this year, encouraging you to register for Orientation and Academic Success Bootcamp. Those are the two events that all of our new incoming students do at the very beginning of their first semester. Orientation to get you oriented to JSOM, and Academic Success Bootcamp to provide you with all of the helpful tips and information that you need to know to be academically successful as a graduate student in the Jindal School. Okay, last slide here, communication. I just wanted to remind everybody again to read their UTD email. This is something that I tell everybody over and over again. Please make sure that you're logging into your UTD email and reading it. Please don't use social media like LinkedIn or Microsoft Teams to communicate with faculty and staff. Please use your UTD email to correspond with me and with advising and any other office here on campus that you need to get in touch with. Please give folks, a couple of days to respond to you, especially now as we're gearing up for registration. Our advising office will definitely be pretty slammed here pretty soon. So please allow for at least 48 hours before you send another message, because it can definitely get busy, especially around peak registration times. And if you need help, again, not sure where to turn to, please reach out to me and I'm happy to help you. And finally, professionalism is important, so please make sure that you address your faculty if you have questions or need to get in touch with a faculty member as doctor or professor, whatever it may be, unless they tell you otherwise. So I already told you you can call me John. Totally fine to call me John, but for your faculty who are teaching you in your courses, please be sure to address them as doctor, professor, etc. All right, we have made it to the end. I put 3 email addresses here on the last slide. SCM at UT Dallas is supply chain, MSc is management science. Hint, hint, both of those emails are actually me. So when you email SCM or MSc, you're actually getting in touch with me, but you're also welcome to email me directly at john.fierst@utdallas.edu, and I'm happy to answer your questions. So if folks have questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat or come off mute. And I am happy to answer questions.
Hi, John. This is Shai here. So
hi.
Sorry. So my enrollment says it begins with 6th. So I just want to know, is that the date that I'm going to start enrolling?
Oh. I thought you cut out. Could you repeat your question?
Sorry. Can you hear me better now?
Yes.
So my enrollment date says it's from November 6th. So does that
Mhm.
mean that I'm supposed to register from that day onwards?
That's right. Yep, there's probably a time associated with that as well. It might say November 6th, like 9 a.m. or 3 p.m. or something like that. So starting on that day and time, you're able to enroll yourself. Yeah, starting on that day or later. So November 5th, you won't be able to enroll yourself, but November 6th at the time that it says starting at that time, then you're able to enroll. Yes.
I have another question about the internship. So I'm somebody who's thinking about taking a 12 credit hour. So for somebody like that, how does that work? I mean, if I'm taking, let's say, 12 credit hours in spring, and then I'm going to try in fall and again in spring. So how does that work? I mean, am I not eligible because you said only summer internships are available? So I do see some of the internship available in spring as well. So I'm a bit confused about that.
Yes, so for everybody coming in spring 2024, the soonest that you become eligible for CPT is spring 2025. So yes, absolutely, you can do a spring 2025 internship, and that no problem. That is totally fine. What sometimes happens, though, is if a student is not able to secure a spring 2025 internship, because there are fewer internships typically available in the long semesters, fall and spring, then they want to be able to still do a summer internship in summer of 2025. So my point there is that you don't want to complete 36 credit hours before summer of 2025 if you want to do an internship in summer of 2025, because you still need to be a student who has not graduated yet in order to be able to do that summer 2025 internship. So if you're taking 12 credit hours in your first semester, fine. You can do 9 or 12 credit hours in the fall 2024 semester. Maybe you do 12 again in fall and you've completed 24 credit hours. Then in spring of 2025, typically my advice is take 3 classes or 9 credit hours. That'll get you to 33 credit hours at the end of spring 2025, and you're still a student. You can still do a summer 2025 internship if you'd like.
Thanks, John.
Yeah, no problem. Great question. Any other questions from folks?
Hi, John. This is Ravi. I just have that continuation question to the previous question. So will there be any advantage for this fall student over the spring students regarding the internships?
No. There's really no difference in terms of like advantages. The main thing is just understanding kind of when the most number of internships are typically available. So summer, we have like a ton of internships. Lots of companies do summer internships, but not every company does fall and spring internships. So, so it's just a matter of making sure that you still have the opportunity to be able to do a summer internship if you'd like to do that.
Thank you.
John, I have another question.
Mhm.
So what about the summer semester?
Yes, summer semesters are optional. For international students, there's no requirement that you enroll over the summer. So you don't have to be here over the summer. So in that first summer of 2024, you could choose to take a class here if you wanted to, or not. You could also, go home for the summer. There's no requirement that you enroll. If you want to enroll in a class over the summer, JSOM does offer some classes over the summer, but it's a much more limited schedule in the summer. Many of our faculty do not teach over the summer. A lot of our students are not here over the summer. So we have a very limited course selection in the summer. So most students who do summer classes are only taking maybe 1 class, maybe 2. That's pretty rare, actually. So maybe they're just taking 1 class, and it's totally optional, totally up to you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So
I have an associate question. Sorry, Ravi. So you did say that for an international student to be a full-time student, you need to have 9 credit hours. So how does that associate with the summer if, let's say, I decide to take two subjects? I mean, like 6 credit hours or 3 credit hours.
Well,
Well,
there's no minimum enrollment requirement in the summer for international students. So there's no such thing as like full-time, part-time in the summer because you're not required to enroll. So the only time somebody is required to maintain a full-time schedule in the summer is if summer is their first semester in the program. So if you're an F1 international student and you were admitted for summer 2024 and summer 2024 is your first semester, then yes, you do actually need to be in 2 classes in the summer because it's your first semester. All of you guys on this call, your first semester is spring 2024. So that does not apply to you and you have no requirement to enroll in anything over the summer. It's totally up to you if you want to do 1 or 2 classes or 0 classes.
Thanks, John.
So, hi John, the course length duration is it 8 weeks or 16 weeks? I just want to know.
Which course?
Any course, like 3 credit hour course?
Yes, all of our classes are 16 weeks. The only class that is not 16 weeks is that Mass 6102 professional development class. That 1 credit hour professional development class is only half the semester. It's an 8-week class. So you can choose to take that either in the first 8 weeks of the spring or the second 8 weeks of the spring. That's the one class that only spans half the semester. Every other class, statistics, operations management, spreadsheet modeling, all of our regular classes span the whole semester.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hello, John. I'm actually a management science student and I'm interested in business analytics as well as innovation and entrepreneurship. So whom should I contact about my course selection and all?
Yeah, you're definitely welcome to send me an email, and I can kind of help you figure out what the right combination of electives is for your first semester. I would say typically when you're combining a hard skill with a soft skill, so in this case, business analytics kind of being the technical part of that and innovation entrepreneurship being more on kind of the strategy and management side, I usually encourage folks to focus on the technical part first. Because that will give you the kind of those hard skills that are really in demand, especially for your internship search. I'll say focus on that first, and then in your second year, add in those innovation and entrepreneurship classes second. That's kind of just a general strategy that may or may not apply to you exactly. So feel free to send me an email and we can chat about it a little bit more in depth. The other thing that I'll, like I mentioned earlier, I'll send in follow-up is the elective choice guide. And that'll give you some other ideas for those business analytics classes specifically on what might be a good choice for your first semester. But if you know that you're going to be diving into business analytics for at least half of your electives, if not more, then it's probably a good idea for you to go ahead and take the advanced statistics class 6359 in your first semester so that you can really avail yourself to as many business analytics electives as possible.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah. Oreste, I see your question here in the chat. If you're a double master's, so MBA and MS, can you help me with electives that align with the MBA, or is it not necessary? Great question. So if you are a dual degree student, you're going to basically have classes that fit into 3 different buckets. There's classes that will be just for your MS degree, classes that double count for both the MBA and the MS, and then some classes that are just for the MBA on their own. Typically, our advising office encourages double degree students to start with the MS degree requirements first. Typically, those are the classes that have a few more prerequisites on them. The MS degree by itself is also fewer credit hours than the MBA. The MBA is 53 credit hours. So sometimes we see students who say, well, I'd rather not do the double degree. I'd rather just finish up with the MS and graduate. So by focusing on the MS requirements in your first semester, that's the rule of thumb there. What you'll want to do, though, if you're a dual degree student, is work closely with our advising team, and they'll put together this degree audit for you that basically outlines which classes fit into each of those 3 buckets. So they'll say, okay, these classes are for your MS degree, these classes double count for both, and then here are the classes that you need just for your MBA. And when you're the dual degree student, it should be 62, 63 credit hours total that you need for the double degree. The MS by itself is 36. The MBA by itself is 53. you don't have to do 89 credit hours to get the dual degree. It's actually down to like 62 or 63. So it's those classes that are in that middle bucket where they double count that really help you get there. But for your first semester, focus on the MS. Check in with the advising office. They'll help you with that degree audit, and then you kind of plan the classes from there. But certainly, there's plenty of classes that will double count for both, so you don't have to be too worried about that.
So, hi, John. On this, I have another question regarding this dual degree. Like, is there any options available for these MS students to convert into the dual degree once they come to the campus of completing their first semester or something like that?
Yes, absolutely. So if you're an MS student and you decide in your first semester that you would like to add the MBA, you can totally do that. You would submit an application to the MBA program once you've gotten here. And then then if you're admitted to the MBA program, then you would be in the dual degree program. So yeah, we have students who want to do that, and you can totally do that once you get here.
So that my second follow-up question is, like, normally for the MBA, these deadlines will be in this November and December. So, but by that time we won't be coming to US. So in that case, how can we apply for this MBA?
So when you get here and you apply to add the MBA during your first semester, you would be admitted to the MBA for either summer 2024 or fall 2024. So you're not actually you're kind of like starting your MS degree in spring and then starting, but really you're just adding the MBA effective summer 2024 or fall 2024. But you can graduate with both degrees at the same time. So even though you came in as an MS only student, if you added the MBA at some point in time once you got here, you can still graduate with both degrees together at the end of the road.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, Ray, I see your question here. Are there any WhatsApp groups for MS Management Science Spring 2024? Can you share? Excellent point. I actually meant to mention this earlier. This is typically the call where somebody will create a WhatsApp group for the incoming batch of students. I have not created the WhatsApp groups. Typically, it's a incoming student who has decided to create one. So if you would like to be the person that creates that for your program, you are totally welcome to do that. Or if somebody else has one, Chaitra says we have one. Chaitra, your supply chain. So you must have the supply chain Spring 24 batch. Chaitra, if you want to drop the link to that WhatsApp group in the chat, that would be great. And then Management Science, I'm not sure if one has been created just yet. But Ray, if you want to be the creator there, you certainly could do that. And then in my follow-up email to everyone, I'm happy to put that WhatsApp chat in the email so that everybody can join it. All right, Lokesh, what is the difference between statistics and advanced statistics? So regular statistics, OPRE 6301, is an Excel-based statistics class, and 6359, advanced statistics, is an R-based statistics class. So it's really just the kind of the medium that you're using to learn and do statistics is different between the two classes. 6301 is geared for people who are not going to take a deep dive into analytics. 6359 is for people who are planning to take a little bit deeper dive into analytics, because a lot of our business analytics elective courses require the advanced statistics class as a prerequisite, because those classes are doing things in R and they need you to have come into the elective class with that R knowledge already. Ray, when will we get the enrollment appointment? You have an enrollment appointment. You just need to go to your Orion Student Center and then click Manage My Classes. And in that Manage My Classes tile, you'll be able to select Spring 2024 to see your enrollment appointment. And that's your day and time that you can begin adding yourself to courses. Oh, Chaitra, it looks like you're in a management science group.
Oh, yes, John. I couldn't find the supply chain one. I'm still looking for it. If anybody can create it, why not?
Okay. Okay, great. Yeah, if you have a management science one created, then yeah, whatever it is, feel free to either send me that link over email, and I can include it in my follow-up email. And before I send the follow-up, I'll see if there's a supply chain one that exists. But certainly, if somebody wants to create one, Sharon, if you'd like to create one, or Chaithra, if you want to create one, you know, just send me the link to the chat, and I'm happy to send that out.
Yeah, I mean, I'm cool with it. I can create one. I'm good.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, then Chaithra, if you want to be our point person then for the WhatsApp group, if you want to send me the one that you're in already for management science.
Yeah, I'm actually kind of figuring out how to send the link to this one.
Okay. It's okay.
Figure it out. I'm gonna send it to you for sure. I mean,
works.
this chat will still be open, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
So
Yeah,
I'm
or
gonna
if you
send
want.
it right here, and
Okay.
then I'm gonna create one for supply chain as well.
Okay, excellent. Excellent. Okay. Chaithra's on it for WhatsApp. So yeah, and if you're not able to send it in this Teams chat, just send it to me over email, and then I'll forward it out to everybody over email.
Oh, for sure. That's perfect. Thanks, John.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you. All right, so for anybody watching the recording, please be sure that you pay attention to my follow-up email, or reach out to me if you need those WhatsApp links, and I'm happy to get those to you. I'm going to go ahead and stop the recording. So thank you for everybody who's watching the recording, and please reach out if there's anything else that I can help with.